Now moving on. Now in air quality across the National Capital Region has deteriorated sharply in October. A report by the Centre for Research on Energy and Clean Air shows that all 10 of India's most polluted cities were in the NCR. Dharuhera in Haryana topped the list with PM2.5 concentration of 123 micrograms per cubic meter, followed by Rohtak, Ghaziabad, Noida, Ballabgarh, Delhi, Bhiwari, Greater Noida, Hapur and Gurgaon. Delhi ranks 6th with an average PM2.5 level of 107 micrograms per cubic meter, almost 3 times higher than September. Now, CREA's analysis found Delhi breached the national air quality standards on most days, logging in 13 very poor and 4 poor air quality days. The report said stubble burning contributed less than 6% to Delhi's PM2.5 levels. It pointed instead to local sources like vehicular traffic, construction, dust and industrial emissions as the main drivers of pollution. CREA analyst Manoj Kumar said winter and festivals don't create India's pollution problem, but that they expose it. He added that short-term measures like the graded response action plan are inadequate without long-term sectors-specific emission cuts. Now, viewers, I have a guest with me, Kavita Ashok, who's an environmentalist, joining me. Kavita, welcome to the broadcast, and I want to begin by asking you, now we all know the kind of effects that this kind of pollution that has blanketed Delhi NCR has on people. But I want to ask you about what kind of an effect does it have on the environment with things like global warming on the rise?
Morning, Vishali. Thank you for the question. I guess we all understand by now what air pollution is doing to our health. But besides just human health, it's also affecting everybody around us, the plants, the animals, you know, the rainfall, the productivity of plants, you know, the production at the, I mean, you know, because sometimes what happens is we stop construction sites, we stop development. There are so many factors, you know, communication. I mean, commuting becomes a problem during air pollution when the air pollution is high. So the whole life comes to a standstill. And besides, the environment is taking a big toll because of such adverse quality of air around us. Yes.
All right, Kavita. But now what I want to ask you is, what is the potential for recovery or on long-term damage? How do you take precautions to protect the environment during this time?
You know, we've already, I think we've lost half the battle because we didn't take precautions earlier. A stitch in time saves 9. I guess compatibility between the different states and, you know, the authorities, the environment ministry need to sit down. They should have done this long back. This year's Delhi Winter Action Plan came in pretty late because already if you start the Winter Action Plan close to Diwali, how are we going to prevent and, you know, the adverse air condition? So I guess we need to prepare the action plan much. And I guess it's not during winters. Throughout the year, we have to, you know, monitor air quality and understand what are the underneath the lying factors which are contributing to such adverse effects. See, as an environmentalist, if I know the reasons, if I know the causes, I'm sure the ministry and the weather department are very well versed about what is causing this air pollution in Delhi NCR.
When Kavita, now does cloud seeding, of course, hardly worked, but does water sprinklers actually help with plants and trees? And, you know, humans we definitely know, but what about plants and trees? Does this actually help?
See, water sprinkler is a very expensive and very temporary solution to something like air pollution. If I sprinkle water in my colony with a sprinkler, okay, for a day it might subside, you know, the pollution might get better, a little better, the air quality. But what about tomorrow? What about day after? So I don't think it's a practical solution that when, you know, it's head on, we are with air pollution, AQI touching 400, 500. How much will the sprinkling of water help us? No, I don't think it's a permanent solution. We need to find something which is more, you know, hit the nail on the head type of solution and focus on where it is coming from. I think nobody's addressing stubble burning anymore. So there are many factors besides vehicular pollution and construction. and garbage burning is still going on. I had posted a reel 2 days back showing a big fire in Chhatarpur. So I think people are not following the rules also. So we need stricter administration. If we've already hit the AQI of 400, 500 in some parts of Delhi NCR, even if it's late, it's time for people also to understand how to help and cooperate with the authorities.
All right, Kavita. Now, I was reading somewhere that your city's geography also contributes to pollution. How do you think that is?
Yeah, that's a big factor. That's right. Because, see, Delhi's topography is like a bowl, like a tashtari. So what happens when winter sets in, the winds are also slow. So if the winds are below 10 kilometers, 10 to 15, then it is very difficult for those winds to carry away the pollutants from above the atmosphere. So firstly, that factor, the wind. And because this is like a bowl, so the wind is unable to take away the pollutants which are settled in the, the lower atmosphere. So I guess because of its position and shape, the way the east in the geographical, the location, I think it's a big factor, and we have to work much harder, much smarter. Yeah.
All right, Kavita, we can only hope that, the crisis that we're facing year after year is somehow sorted.